Good afternoon. It is time for midweek motivation. I know, Wednesday already? How did that even happen? It's not like anything has happened internationally or personally in the last week or so. I am, as always, a sock marionette doing business as bargain counter argument, and I am a middle-aged lady, Anna Tiara, currently hosting a live stream. Hi, hi, hi. We have some comments already. Jill saying hello, everyone, and she's at Barnes & Noble and looking at a couple of books and magazines I might get. If you want to ask the group if any of us have read the books or whatever. I mean, I know it's not Yankee Magazine because I'm pretty sure you have a subscription to that, or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe you buy it on an as-needed basis. And Anita is here, and she says, "Good afternoon, everyone. Today I am reading Digging Up Bones by Cindy Kirk and Spellbound to Murder by Stacey Ramey, or Remy. I'm guessing Ramey. And Lisa the Lost Coffee Mug says, "Hey, everyone. Here before I have to leave for my appointment. Well, thank you for dropping by. I hope it's a good appointment. I hope that everything is doing what it's supposed to. And yes, I am generally, Wyoming is here." And she says, "Barky bark bark," or she just says barkity bark. And I say, "Barky bark bark. This is Little White Doggy." Yes, I've had this. This was a gift to my parents, or to me through my parents. Anyway, when I was first born. And she never got a fancier name than Little White Doggy. Because, Little White Doggy. Barky, barkity bark bark bark. Beloved childhood toy. Barky. Anyway, so, and Maury is here. Mari. Okay, I'm going to stop doing that now. She says, "Hello, all." Hello. And this is the book I'm currently reading, Every Step She Takes by Alison Cochrane. Sapphic travel romance. They're walking the Camino Santiago. This is the pilgrimage. They're going from Porto in Portugal to Santiago de Compostela in Spain. So I'm enjoying it so far. I'm about a third of the way through, but that's not what I'm going to be reading during the sprints because I have a special plan. "Hello," says Stacy. "I'm here. Stacy. And Marie says, "I hear your voice, but I don't see you. I will close and reopen. I'll be right back." I hope everybody else can see me. And if you can't, just believe that I am looking uncommonly lovely this afternoon. Yes. "She's special, just like Silly," says Wyoming. Indeed. "She used to have a music box, but baby Emily did not like trying to cuddle a stuffy with a clunky music box in her, so she had a music boxectomy." That's where the stitch is. I don't know what she played. Probably something by Brahms. That's how that goes. Yay, TH, uppercase T. Indeed. It's a little noisy here because I have the windows open because it's a lovely day outside and I was a little warm because I was doing my 10 minutes of yuck before we started. And so I opened the windows and then everything was fine. And just now, everybody in town is just going past. A couple of motorcycles ridden by guys who look a little old for that kind of stuff, but you're only as old as you feel. I may have to close the window, but for now I'm going to leave it open. "Yeah, that worked," says Marie. Oh, okay. "I live for the Stacy chant," says Stacy. Stacy. There's also the Anita chant. Anita, Anita, Anita. Jill says, "I can hear and see you." Thank you for the update. Yeah. So, but Murray says she got it all straightened out. So, anyway, what I'm going to be reading today, and I have to go up to the attic for this, so that'll be my 10 minutes. Oh, a jogger. Nice day for it. Have fun with that. Earlier, some of the cross country team from the nearby Catholic high school boys, Catholic high school men's school, boys' school, they came jogging past. At least they have. No, actually, they haven't. They keep running with traffic instead of facing traffic. So it's like, guys, I feel like I should go up there and talk to their coach and say, "You do know that they're like not jogging in the safest possible way." Anyway, I'm not hearing too much noise, says Lisa. Okay, that's good. It's just like me. And if it starts to bug me too much, I will close the window. It is like a thing that I can do. I'm empowered to do that by my manager. Chick named Bargain Counter Argument, and she's okay. I mean, if you have to have a manager. Anyway, so I'm going to go up to the attic to get my read for today during the 10 minutes of yuck. So if anybody has anything else they want to say, now's the time to say it. And if not, we'll just go into the 10 minutes of yuck. I did issue some invitations for people to join me on camera, but we'll see if anybody has the opportunity to show up. It's an open house. They can drop in whenever they want or not at all. I'm not the boss of them. I am the boss of me, apparently. Or at least my middle manager. What is this person doing? Where are you going? Bring me back some of whatever it is you're getting. Unless it's birdseed, I don't need any of that. Okay. So I think I will call for the 10 minutes of yuck. We'll go till 16 past the hour. I will run up to the attic and get some books, and we will see you back. So let's see if I can remember how to do the banner. If you're getting donuts. Okay. Edit, sprinting until 16 minutes. I'll make it 17 minutes past the hour. I'll give it a jaunty little exclamation mark. Enter, show, hooray! Oh, that didn't work out the way I'd hoped. We're sprinting until like 1 foot 7 inches. Okay, there we go. Perfect. And I'll see you back in 10 minutes. We're back. How'd everybody's 10 minutes of yuck go? I went up to the attic and got a stack of books to discuss. And I also went downstairs because yesterday I had an insane adventure. Well, yeah. Let's see, I can take this banner off now. Perfect. Okay. I can't do two things at once, I guess. Anyway, yesterday I went out and Mari says that was productive. Discovered the cat had found a stink bug in his water. I bet he was super happy about that. It's like a water, like when we order water and it's got like chunks of fruit in it, like some strawberries or something. And he's like, "Ooh, a stink bug, you shouldn't have." And he was disgusted by it. Oh, he was disgusted by it. I thought it was like a little cat toy. He now has fresh water and the breakfast plates are clean. I had just enough time to do that too. Nice. Well, I went up to the attic and grabbed my books, and then I went downstairs and grabbed some books because yesterday I went to Book Barn. I may have dropped some coin there. And I also went to 11 libraries and got my little passport stamped. I'm doing the Passport to Connecticut libraries. You have a piece of paper, you take it to different libraries that are participating, they give it a stamp, and they usually give you a little gift. I've already done one video about that, and the program ends tomorrow at the end of the month, and I'll do another video showing the other stuff I got. I was going to do one in the middle, but it just didn't happen. Anyway, now I've been to 29 total. And like I said, I went to 11 yesterday, and a couple of them had books for sale, including one place where I picked up 21 of these trade paperback Georgette Hare books for 50 cents a piece. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I got so much stuff, and I also checked out books. So I had so much stuff that I only made one trip from the car because by the time I got home, I was out for like 8 or 9 hours, not 9 hours, I guess. And when I got home, Princess Hobblefoot was kind of bothering me from the walking, and my back was kind of sore from the driving. So I just hauled in some stuff, and I went out this morning and got the rest of it. And some of it's still downstairs. Most of it's upstairs now. But anyway. Jill says, one of the books I'm looking at is Tea with Jam and Dread by Vicki Delaney. I haven't read any of this series yet. Does it need to be read in order? Is anybody familiar with this series by Vicki Delaney? Tea with Jam and Dread, which is Tea by the Sea Mysteries #6. So if anybody is familiar with this and can give Jill some insight on whether or not she has to read them in order, please do, because I don't read cozies, so I'm not knowledgeable about this, but I'm throwing it out to the group. Please, even if you've never commented before, maybe just throw in something really quickly just to help Jill out, or not. I'm not the boss of you. I'm only the boss of me, and even there, I'm kind of slack. I take terrible advantage of my own kind managerial skills. Okay, I need to stop pushing that metaphor. Mari says, what a find. Anita says, although you don't have to read them in order, there are certain aspects of the stories that go from book to book. That seems like it's fairly typical of cozy mysteries. Like there are some aspects that go from one book to the other, but they're kind of more or less designed to be read somewhat independently. Anyway, thank you, Anita. And if anybody else has any insights, please share. Okay, so yes, I found those Georgette Hare books. And Wyoming, if you're still here, could you just give me a quick barkity? Because I have something to ask you. Because it was something else that I found. So if you want to give me a quick barkity so I know you're still here. Now, what I am doing today is, and Jill says, thanks to Anita. Yeah, thanks. And what I'm doing today is I have a book club meeting tomorrow, and the prompt this month, we don't all read the same book, but the prompt was to read a book from the 1990s. I haven't gotten around to it yet. Barkity says, Wyoming. Okay, I just want to let you know real quick, like, if you want me to send this to you, I will or not. I don't know. I found at a library sale for like $1. Yeah, it was $1, and it's in perfect condition, well, almost perfect condition. A little bit of bleeding from the ink. This copy of Atlas, The Story of Pa Salt by Harry Whitaker. This is the 8th book in the Seven Sisters series, and Harry Whittaker is the son of Lucinda Riley, who died very young. She died at like 56, I think, of cancer. And he took the notes she had written about Pa Salt and the book she was planning to write as the final book in that series, and wrote it after she died. So I have an extra copy of that, because when I sent you those books in whenever I sent, sometime last year when I sent you those books, I didn't have an extra copy of this. Now I do. So let me know if you want me to send it along. Like I said, it was only $1, so if you don't want it, I know of a used bookstore that'll take it. Okay, just wanted to throw that out there. Now, and if anybody else wants to read the Seven Sisters series, I have it, and I was going to read it at some point. I don't know if it's going to be a buddy read or not, but if people are interested, we could even have a little book club maybe. Okay, so I have this other book club, and we don't all read the same book. We just work off the same prompt. And this month, the prompt was to read a book published in the 1990s. Wyoming says, absolutely, please. I would appreciate that so much, Sock. No problem at all. And, oh, Emily Lost in the Library is here. Hey, Emily. And so you're supposed to read a book published in the 1990s. I have a lot of books published in the 1990s, but I didn't get around to reading one yet this month, so I better do it now. Fortunately, I have pretty much the most 90s coded thing ever, which is I have a whole bunch, and this is not all of the ones that I have. It's just the ones I brought down. These are all Silhouette Shadows, which was a Silhouette line. I think it lasted 2 or 3 years in the 90s, and this is like romances with a little bit of a paranormal bent. It was when the X-Files was very popular, and a lot of media companies were turning to kind of more paranormal stuff because of the X-Files. If you've ever watched Baywatch Nights, which I don't know why you would have, but it was a spinoff from Baywatch where Mitch had a detective agency, and the syndication company that was syndicating Baywatch and Baywatch Nights was like, we would like it to be more like the X-Files. So they kind of did this half-hearted introduction of a paranormal stuff. And it was not a good series anyway. And the paranormal stuff was kind of half-hearted because they would really rather have just been doing mysteries and procedurals. Thank you for thinking of me. How I always do, Wyoming. Well, not always, but I do frequently. Barkity. Emily says, sorry, that sent too soon. Hey, Sock and Chat. Hey, Emily. I got lost in many libraries. I got lost between libraries. 11 of them. So anyway, I figured if you guys could help me pick one of these that I can read during today's live stream, and then I will have my book for the 90s to talk about in the book club tomorrow. So what we have here is Kiss of Darkness by Sharon Brandos. Brandos? Look at that. You can see where the magnifying glass, or actually, I think that's like some kind of scientific, it's flagon. It's not a test tube, and it's not a beaker. It's like the kind that's bulbous on the bottom. You can see where it's covering her face. Skull. Woohoo! Stacy. She says, I read Lisa Kleypas, Someone to Watch Over Me for the 90s prompt. Loved it. Today and tomorrow, I'm catching up on a couple of suspense books before I start the Ever After-a-thon. I'm not doing the Ever After-a-thon this year. I had a good time with it last year, but I kind of just got burned out a little bit, which was not anything wrong with the Ever After-a-thon itself. That was the energy I was bringing to the situation. So, yeah, that wasn't nobody was pressuring me. It was all coming from within. But right now, I don't feel like I have the mental wherewithal to talk myself out of getting like that again. So I'm just going to respectfully stand back and enjoy everybody else's work on the Ever After-a-thon. I am finishing my 90s book today, says Mari. Almost finished listening to it. Well, I'm looking forward to finding out what it is. I understand if you want to save it for the discussion. I saw the pics you shared on Monday. It looks like you went on a library tour. Super fun. That was on Monday. My mom went with me. Mom Marionette and I went down to the shore, and we went to 3, and we were just like, it was such a beautiful day. We were down at the shore. I had those pics, and then we were kind of both tired, so we came home. Yesterday was a freaking marathon. I went to East Lyme, Niantic. I went there because I wanted to go to libraries over there, but I also wanted to go to Book Barn. And so I did that. I went to Book Barn and Book Barn Downtown, which is the main campus has some of the books, and then Book Barn Downtown has like the genre stuff. And they had like, that's where the romance, the mystery, science fiction, fantasy. They also have, well, each location, they have 3 different locations. Each location has at least some kids' books, because if, adults are browsing, that gives the kids something to look at too. So that's nice. And also Book Barn Downtown is where they had the graphic novels, but I didn't pick any up this time. Anyway, I also, while I was in East Lyme, I went to the Dollar General. I went to the gas station. I went to the post office. And the library in East Lyme. Then I went to 10 more libraries. I browsed at TJ Maxx, but didn't buy anything. And I went to another Dollar General, and I went to a grocery store to pick up something for dinner. It was quite the trip. And I have pictures, but I haven't done anything with them yet. So totally understandable, says Stacey. It can be a long month. Yeah, I get kind of hyper competitive, like basically with myself. And I was like, I can try to turn that off, but it takes a lot of emotional regulation. And right now I just don't have the energy to direct that way. So I get, so I'm just going to take it off. Take it off. Not do Ever After a thon this year, and just kind of try to relax, which, considering how many library books I have out, that may take some doing. Oh, now you're picking up the trash. Now. Usually they pick it up in the morning, and they're just now getting around to it. I wonder if they have a guy out sick. Anyway, so I have this Kiss of Darkness. I like this cover with the, ooh, suckers. Oh, school bus traffic jam. Anyway, so with the where you can see the skull underneath the skin. Then The Last Cavalier by Heather Graham Passeri. This is Heather Graham, also known as Shannon Drake. And it's looks like a ghost soldier. It's probably a Civil War. Yep. Oh, yeah. Civil War. I don't know if I'm into that. We'll see. Break the Night by Anne Stewart. Yes. This figure here, she is definitely giving me Agent Scully vibes. Now there's a traffic jam from the school bus. Another school bus. What time is it? 2:30. Heart of the Beast by Carla Cassidy. Ooh, beastly eyes. She is not giving me Dana Scully vibes. She's just not. Shadow of the Wolf by Rebecca Flanders. They're making it out, but look, there are puppy paws on the side, so I'm guessing one of them is not entirely human. Barkety barkety. And The Woman in White. Oh, wow. Mari says they are all coming for story time with Sock. Well, I hope they're in high school at least, because this is not for the youngsters. The Woman in White by Jane Toombs. It's a woman in white story, I guess. He has pants but no shirt, jeans but no shirt. It reminds me that there was a Woman in White story, was the first pilot episode of Supernatural. The supernatural being, entity, was a woman in white. Okay, let's see what these suckers are about, besides the obvious. Okay, are we ready for this? Okay, The Woman in White. Yeah, I'll start with The Woman in White. Why not? This is promising, at least based on this. Like, it's like, I like the cover is gothic, but with blue jeans. Bewitched. Oh, Take a Walk on the Dark Side of Love. Yeah. Take a Walk on the Dark Side of Love. Is it a walk or more? Well, anyway. Bewitched. One look into Gary Russell's eyes, and Leah Courtois felt like she'd known him forever. Though they'd never met, she felt they were destined to be together. So why did this connection to him seem as if it could destroy her very soul? Because he's a politician. Guy didn't know what forces were making him want Leah, so Guy didn't know, or is it Guy? Is it like a French thing? Guy. Guy didn't know what forces were making him want Leah so, but they were too compelling to ignore, and Leah was too desirable to let go. Were they meant to be together, or did the woman in white, the woman who haunted his dreams, have other plans for them? And would those plans end more? And would those plans end? Oh, this writing is very strange. And would those plans? I mean, the way I'm reading, it's not really doing anybody any favors either. And would those plans end more than a passionate romance? Promising. Shadow of the Wolf. This is Shadow of the Wolf. Heart of the Wolf. I guess it's like a series within a series. Heart of the Wolf. Within a few lost souls, the heart of the wolf beats fierce and wild. Feel them, fear them, tame them. Only in silhouette shadows. To catch a killer. TV journalist Amy Portnoy knew the only way. Writer. Knew the only way to catch the elusive werewolf killer was to dangle herself as bait. But when she got in over her head, sexy Kai London came to her rescue. Suddenly she was really in trouble, because teaming up with the alluring PI raised the stakes, which now included her heart. I'll see your heart and raise you a liver. Kai had his own very private reason for joining the investigation, yet he never should have involved the determined ace reporter. She was a sultry distraction he couldn't afford, for if he lost his concentration, they could lose their lives. Wow. This one's still ahead, I think. No shade on this one, though. Heart of the Beast by Carla Cassidy. Deep in the forest. Bonnie Redding had come to the isolated Arkansas research lab to be reunited with her father, a figure from her remote past who had sacrificed family for his scientific career. But the man who greeted her was strangely detached, so different from her dim childhood memories. I don't remember you being this detached, but maybe that's why my memories of you are so dim. It is a quandary. Even more mysterious was Nicholas Shepard, a brilliant doctor with unsettling eyes. The trash before the trash collector was going up the other side of the street, he just sailed right past our house. He must be on a repositioning cruise. Okay. Even more mysterious was Nicholas Shepard, a brilliant doctor with unsettling eyes. I think silvery gray, because everybody's got silvery gray eyes in these books. It was he who warned Bonnie that her father wasn't what he seemed, that there was evil at Reading Institute. There's evil at Reading Institute. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, there's always out of toilet paper in the bathrooms, but that's not evil, just kind of inconvenient. Bonnie's instincts told her to flee, but she couldn't bear to leave Nicholas behind. I'm going. Coming with? No. Okay, then I'm not going. Nicholas knew Bonnie had to get away before it was too late, before passion exploded between them, because he had a deadly secret, and it guaranteed that falling in love would destroy them both. I don't know. She just doesn't look like a Bonnie to me. Bonnie is such a practical name. It's just strange to have a person named Bonnie, in this kind of, kind of story. This is kind of pulling ahead of this one a little bit, because I kind of, I like this, the dad isn't what he appears to be. They're out, yeah. The interns are writing the blurbs again, says Gwen. Yeah. Gotta give them something to do. Gotta earn that college credit. Okay, now this is the one who was giving me kind of Dana Scully vibes, but now that I look at the figure on the cover, I don't know if you can see, but she doesn't have that kind of pencil skirt that comes with suits like Scully used to wear. This is a more loose, slightly pleated deal. I don't know. Let's scream. Bloodstained knife! A century passed, the faceless killer had strolled out of the London fog and into history, the most infamous murderer who ever lived. And only reporter J.R. Damien knew he had never died. Would never die! Woo! It was impossible, and yet it was true. A saucy Jack was back, plying his trade in the back alleys of Venice, California. Woo! Saucy Jack at Muscle Beach. And Saucy Jack takes another life. Lizzie Stride refused to accept the ravings of this man who swore she was fated to die again and again at the hands of a long-dead madman. But J.R. Damien's haunted eyes, ooh, I bet they're silvery gray, but it told her she must follow in a century-old dance of death and desire with a man who feared he was the reincarnation of Jack the Ripper. Okay, not gonna lie, this one's really pulling out ahead. Reincarnation, Jack the Ripper. Oh yeah, Saucy Jack. Okay, this one probably isn't going to be a no-go. It's The Last Cavalier by Heather Graham Pozzessere. I think she wanted to put some of her Shannon Drake research to good use. Timeless. Oh, that was Gwen who said that. I thought it was Maury who said that the interns are writing the blurbs again. Hi, Gwen. Timeless. The battle was raging, the air hot with smoke, loud with rifle fire. Then the air turned dim with an eerie mist, and for Jason Tarkenton, captain in the Confederate cavalry, the true nightmare began. Vicky Knox was today's woman dressed like yesterday's, wearing Yankee garb to play a part, but play acting ended when a Reb stepped out of the mist and took her prisoner for real. They never should have met, never should have battled, never should have loved. But something had gone wrong with time itself, weaving together past and present like torn threads of a tattered tapestry. Something had gone wrong, and in mending such shredded silk, their loves and their lives might be the final sacrifice. He's on the wrong side of the war, and I don't want to read about that right now. So that's a no. That's a no-go. So far, this is the one that's really Saucy Jack. Okay, now Kiss of Darkness. The Dark Dilemma. Adrian Smith's latest orders tore at a conscience that shouldn't exist, pricked a heart that was his curse. But he'd made a deal with death centuries ago, and now he had to do its bidding. He would kill the scientist who was on the brink of prolonging human life. Then he would return to his own private hell. Grocery shopping on a Saturday morning. Yeah, that's not great. Adrian had expected his prey to be an old man whose time was near, but instead he found himself preparing to harm a beautiful young woman, bursting with life. Yet Adrian could no longer murder Sue Cooper than he could. Yet Adrian could no sooner murder Sue Cooper than he could hope to fight death and its agents of evil when they came to do the jobs themselves. Okay, so I think these are the two I'm most interested in reading. So if you guys want to help me pick, should I read Reincarnation Jack the Ripper or this guy who is obliged by death to kill this lady that he didn't want to kill? So this one, the guy thinks is afraid he might be the reincarnation of Jack the Ripper, and he wants to keep the lady safe. And again, this one is, he doesn't want to kill the lady, but his obligations to death say he should. So what do people think? What do you want to hear about? I vote for Jack the Ripper, says Jill. Oh no, this is Jack the Ripper. This is death. I think you should read Kiss of Darkness. Ooh, we have a tie. They both sound interesting. I say Jack too, so Jack's pulling ahead. 2 votes for Jack, 1 vote for Kiss of Darkness. Does anybody else want to weigh in? Oh, we have a split vote from Wyoming. She likes Jack the Ripper, but Silly said she liked the Wolf book. I don't know if this is a Wolf book. I kind of set aside. This is for sure a Wolf book, and I think this might also be a Wolf book, but I'm not sure. But I kind of set those aside. So sorry, Silly. Better luck next time. Jack, says Marie, I like the cover. It is a nice cover. Okay, that is the trash truck again, going in the opposite direction. What is going on? Marie, yeah, it is a nice cover. I like both those covers. I think they're both good. Jack, says Lisa. Emily Lost in the Library, says Jack. Okay, so we're getting a lot of. Jack is getting a lot of play. So we're going to read Jack. I'm going to read. You're not going to read Jack. I'm going to read Jack. Let me see. Maybe Jack's on Kindle. If anybody else wants to read along. Break the Night by Anne Stewart. And Stuart with a U? Yes. French spelling. Okay. Break the Night is on Kindle, but it's like $5. So, okay. So I'm going to read this. So I'm going to have a 45-minute. Actually, I'm going to do, yeah, just a little over 45 minutes. We're going to go to half past the hour. So 48 minutes or so, just so we can all get some nice momentum going with our various reading and projects. And maybe Jill can let us know what she decided to get at Barnes and Noble. Maybe she's home already. Maybe she went somewhere else first. We shall see. Okay, so we are going to sprint until 30 past. So banners, edit. Okay, if nobody has anything else they want to share before we go, we're going to go sprint for a good long while. A little over 45 minutes. It's going to be lovely. Jill says she's still at Barnes and Noble. She's still at Barnes and Noble. Lisa's she's be off. She will be off and catch the replay, right? Because she said she had an appointment. Okay, we'll go back to this, and I'll see you in about 45 minutes plus. And we're back. And my hair, I was sprawled out on the couch, and my hair is doing its own thing now. Okay, how'd everybody do? Let's see where we are. Okay, so Jill says she read a chapter of Tea and Jam with Dread. Tea with Jam and Dread, and written in stone by Paige Shelton, and neither is really calling to her. Well, however, she said, added, I'm starting a Sophie Hannah book, Agatha Christie, The Mystery of the Three Quarters. Nice. Ugh. Ana dropped by to say my brain decided it didn't want to tell time. I am here, maybe lurking, maybe participating. She says she's reached the halfway mark in Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. Nice. That is to say, page 222. Well, that's nice. And let's see. Kristen, I'm wearing one of the tiaras of Kristen summoning. I start Mansfield Park. Snore. And I'm going to see if I can finish The Vanishing Cherry Blossom Bookshop by tomorrow. Nice. B stopped by to say hi. She's probably not here anymore because she's got to pick up the kids at 3:30, I think. Yep, that's exactly what she said. She said, Mama needs to read romance. B said, I actually got on here while you're live. Yay! But you're away, and I have to leave to pick up the kiddos at 30 past. Boo. And then she added, Christian's making me excited to try Mansfield Park. Yeah. Snore is such an evocative, but not particularly enticing review. And Ana says, I just got to chapter 23, page 252 in Wild Eyes. Nice. Nice. Oopsie. Emily took a short nap and trying to stave off a migraine, just not make it not happen. Oh, sleep off on migraine, she said. Well, good luck. I hope that works. I find that taking a nice warm shower will sometimes help, but then my migraines tend to be tension driven. So Marie said, was asking Kristen, how do you like The Vanishing Cherry Blossom Bookstore? Please let us know. I am not quite halfway through this book. This is, of course, Break the Night by Anne Stewart. And it is actually 250 pages long. It's a longer book than the, I mean, it's a category romance. They're as long as they are, but the Candlelight Ecstasy romances tend to be 190, although the last couple of ones I was reading were like 210 or whatever. This one's 250. And oh my gosh, it's really good. I'm really enjoying it a lot. I'm on page 108. By the way, it was published in 1993. And I'm really, really liking it a lot. It's actually kind of, excuse me, more like it's a paranormal noir with a romance element to it. So I'm liking that. And I think she nails the tone really, really well. There's a one-page prologue to set it up. And I'm going to read some of it, at least. The sky over Los Angeles was blood red. At first, they thought it was a new form of toxic waste, red smog caused by a combination of industrial exhaust and the peculiar weather conditions. A good stiff wind would blow everything away in just a matter of time. But the red sky continued, and the scientists began to debate. It had to have been caused by the latest nuclear accident, or perhaps by brush fires burning out of control. Maybe even an act of God. The historians were no comfort. The red sky had been recorded throughout the past, from France in the 1400s, when Gilles de Retz cut a bloody path through the countryside, to London in the fall of 1888, when Jack the Ripper made his rounds, to Germany in 1905, when Peter Kürten, the Dusseldorf Ripper, carved his way through a terrified populace. The Santa Ana winds blew hot and dry from the desert, swirling down from the blood-red sky, and suicide rates tripled. The endless storms followed, drenching the sprawling cityscape, and somewhere in the dark, rain-soaked streets of Venice, California, spring-heeled Jack, Saucy Jack, Jack the Ripper made one of his periodic appearances, and the streets ran red with blood, so much blood that not even the rain could wash it clean. I think and it kind of continues, it gets a little more colloquial, but there's just something very evocative about the way she writes that I'm really, really enjoying a lot. It's like, it's almost kind of like, it's Los Angeles and it's perpetually raining. If you've seen the original Blade Runner, it kind of makes me think of that. And so, yeah, I'm really liking it. And I'll read a bit more in a second. Looks like we have another comment. Whoops, what did I just do? Oh, it suddenly released a whole bunch of comments at once. Let's see. Jill says she read 24 pages of the Sophie Hannah book. I hope it's calling to you a little bit more than the others, because it sounded like they were kind of not helping you out much. Hope that this one's going a little better. Anita. She got to 62% in digging up bones. And she says, I'm using text to speech, so I apologize for the wording. Yeah, I figured it was probably something along those lines. I hope it goes away, Emily, says Marie. Headaches suck, especially migraines. It's true. I'm just starting it, said Kristen. I needed an after-work snack. Ooh, an intellectual snack. Nice. And Gwen says, listen to With This Man by Jody Ellen Malpas the whole time. How is it? Because somebody was talking, was it you who was talking about a Jody Ellen Malpas book they were reading and it was kind of not necessarily working out for them? Maybe that was you. Listen to my 90s book, says Marie, and fix my lunch. Ooh, what's for lunch? What's for lunch? Please let me know. We had, I picked up a salad yesterday while I was out, brought it home. We split the salad and still had some left over. So we had small garden salads today, and we had some cacio e pepe pasta. This is like spaghetti with like a sort of creamy Parmesan sauce and some cracked black pepper. It was very tasty. Exactly what I was in the mood for. But now we're out of salad again. What are we going to do? The other day in one of the lives I was attending, Blake said that if there was no salad, was it like a crisis in the Marionette household? And I'm like, yeah, kind of. Then I thought that maybe Mom Marionette and I are like those ladies in stock photos where you see like the ladies that are just like eating salad and laughing and having a great time. I wonder if we're like them, maybe. Red sky equals stay home. Got it, says Ana. Red sky at night, the serial killer's delight. Ana says, I had a handful of popcorn chicken. Nice. Too tired to cook a dual meal. Salad with lots of fresh dill on it and turkey and cranberries and yummy green tea. Nice. That would be a crisis in my house too. Yeah, Mom Marionette and I like our salads. We usually have like a side salad as opposed to a full meal salad because I don't know about Mom Marionette specifically, but I know that if I go more than about 3 days without eating a salad, I just start to feel kind of gross. I just kind of need those fresh leafy greens. So I need to get to the store tomorrow, hopefully, to pick some of that up. Anyway, so yes, I'm enjoying this book. Now, what's happening is we do have a serial killer on the loose. We do get actually, every once in a while, we get like a few paragraphs from the serial killer's point of view, and it's almost like they're a shapeshifter. And yes, the reporter Damien is worried that he is a reincarnation of Jack the Ripper. Our female protagonist, what's her name again? Lizzie, Elizabeth Stride. She has the same name as one of the people who was killed. One of the people that Jack the Ripper killed in 1888. She is works as a waitress, and she's also makes masks that get sold in local curiosity shops and so on. And the serial killer is putting those masks, has gotten those masks, bought them, whatever, and is leaving them on the victims. So there's a connection there. I'm enjoying it, says Gwen. It's the male POV of the This Woman trilogy. Nice. Gwen says, fresh leafies are my crack, that and berries. Well, my crack is just like cookies and potato chips, but fresh leafies are just kind of like a necessary condition of being a happy and healthy sock. Anyway, so he's a reporter, and he actually already had a couple of her masks, which is another thing that makes him worry that he's like maybe killing people and doesn't realize it. Anyway, so they've teamed up, and he's trying to kind of protect her, and he takes her back to her place. Well, they go back to her place, they go back to his. They end up at his place where he's got better security than she does at her apartment. And and all the way along he is trying to convince himself that he's not falling for her. It's kind of cute. Let's see if I can find the one where he's talking about what they're going to have for dinner, and he says, I can make 3 things: scrambled eggs, and back scrambled eggs. What's the difference? Oh, I should be doing the voices. What's the difference? I put Tabasco and ketchup in the Mexican ones. Sounds ghastly, she said. It'll be just the thing. And then she asked him to make her a cup of tea, and he says, wouldn't you rather have a drink? And she says, save the tequila for the eggs. They'd go well together. Ana says, if it was her, I'd put away the craft supplies and find a new hobby. Well, I mean, she's just now found out what's happening, so. Jill says, I've been getting salad bar for dinner for dinner for Wednesdays. So tonight is salad bar from the grocery store, or I actually just got like a prepackaged Caesar salad last night because that was like my second to last stop. I stopped at Adams Market over in Portland, and then I went to the Portland Library, and then I came home, and I just like I was having trouble walking actually because my Princess Hobblefoot hurt and my back was kind of stiff from all the driving. And so I was just like hobbled into the grocery store, and I'm like, for cheaper, I could buy all of the ingredients to make salad and have plenty left over, but I just don't feel like messing with it. So I bought the Caesar salad and brought it home. And it was nice. Anyway, so that is what's happening with this book. And like I said, I'm actually enjoying it. So I'm probably not going to reveal too much about it as I continue because spoilers, because it's on Kindle. It's $5. I don't know if it's worth $5 unless you're really intrigued, but it's not bad. It's like, I enjoy the candlelight ecstasy romances. A lot of that times I enjoy them on an ironic level. I'm just straight up enjoying this one. Yes. Henry's Market in North Beverly. Nice. And Gwen says, I so miss Soup Plantation. Was there some scandal attached to Soup Plantation, or did they just go under? I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, I am liking this. Let's see. Unironically, like I have to just kind of laugh at it because of the era in which it was written or whatever. Yes, it's very much a product of the 90s, but it's still good. I'm liking it. Very happy I picked this one, or that you helped me pick this one. Although it could well be that this one just would have been just as good. I did read one of these. I don't remember when I read it, but it was like, oh, I remember when I read it. I remembered it when I read it when I did the my Valentine's Day where I posted a video every day, and every day I read a book from a different line. I read A Silhouette Shadow. It was a time travel deal. I did not care for it at all. And this, though, really enjoying it. Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad you're enjoying it, says Emily. I am. Yeah. It's a very pleasant way to spend a spring afternoon. And in such great company as well. So, anybody else want to update or discuss anything? I am surrounded by books because of my travels yesterday, and there are a bunch downstairs. It's kind of every time. At least I cleaned up the sitting room before I went out yesterday, so I had somewhere to place all of this stuff. Let's see. What else did I pick up? I picked up One by One by Frida McFadden. And because I enjoyed Middlemarch so much, I picked up another book by George Eliot I was able to find called Romola. I don't know. It's like I read Middlemarch, and now I think George Eliot's my whole personality. Not sure. Anyway, look at this. It says designed to be read as a modern novel. Okay. Book League of America. Again. And I don't know when this was printed. It doesn't have a year that it was printed. I think this might have been one of her earlier works. Mm. Oh, it's got that old book smell. Beautiful. Love it. And let's see. I got The Orchid House by Lucinda Riley, who wrote the Seven Sisters books that I was talking about earlier with Wyoming. Barkety, barkety. And Emily says, thanks, Maury. I just saw your comment was getting the laundry. I've had chronic for 6 years, so sadly I'm used to it. Nee. Oh, I think I had my first migraine. I wasn't diagnosed with migraine until recently because my mother, my sister, they had migraines, and their symptoms were a little different, so I didn't necessarily make the connection that that was what I was having. But I think I probably had the first one when I was 10 or so. Yeah. But it's not chronic. I get them maybe once every 6 weeks, 2 or 3 months. They seem to have slowed down as I've gotten older. If people like cozy Japanese translated fiction, says Marie, I read Hot Chocolate on Thursdays yesterday and loved it. And I have in one of these bags, it's in the bag I can't reach. I have the second book in the Kamagwa Food Detectives. I enjoyed the first one. That's kind of cozy. The detectives, they're food detectives, like they track down like trying to recreate dishes that people have had in the past. There's like, it's a mystery, but it's a culinary mystery. It's not like a murder type mystery. What else did I get? Ooh. I might have picked up a couple of step backs. Ooh, yeah. They have the distinctive orange price tag, which comes off pretty easily. This is Beyond Compare by Candace Camp. And it's like a half step back. Oh, that's pretty. I love those colors. Although when I showed it to my mom, she's like, "Oh, I see he's already gotten her zipper down." And I'm like, "Yes, it does look like it kind of looks like the dress has a zipper." Don't always paint what you see. And The Ideal Bride, which is a Sinster novel by Stephanie Lawrence. And that is a wedding dress from the 80s, I'm pretty sure. 1980s. And the price tag is on this little, this is not a cutout. That's a smaller version of this, so it's not a different image. Yeah, says Emily, I had my first at 12. They used to be spaced out, but it got worse in 2020. Ugh, I have a good healthcare team now, and I'm doing better than before, but I still have my days. Yeah, that sucks. Audiobooks are my friend on those days. Yes, I had one a few weeks ago, and I listened to one of those, oh, what was it? Scared Sexy novellas from back in October. I listened to one of those. I think I listened to the Kimberly and Lemming one, and that was nice because I just like, um, yeah, because there's something about having a migraine. I can't look at anything. I have to be in darkness and so on. It's just so boring. It's like I'm in pain and I'm bored. Life's pretty cheap to that type. Somebody's starting their motorcycle. Jill says, I had one migraine in my life when I was in college, and it had me typing 3-term papers and had left typing 3-term papers for the night before they were due and had a cold on top of that. Ugh, yikes. I had to take the subway into school, and that didn't help. I bet. That sounds terrible. I hope, did you end up at like the student health center or something? Yeah, yes, says Lamori. Yay for audiobooks on bad eye and head days. What the heck? I don't find you any more attractive because you have that beast. Oh, sorry. Gwen says, whoops. I clicked on the last comment. just as Anna posted something, so I accidentally got the wrong one. Do they include the recipe after they figure it out? Well, kind of they sort of narrate what the recipe is, and it usually involves like finding like some spring water that can only be found on this island that the person went to when they were a child or something like that. So, not really. Yeah. Or this beer that isn't brewed anymore or something like that. I like something. I like listening to my For Whom the Bell Tolls audiobook on days when I want to read but don't want to open my eyes. If you're listening and not watching, that's Bell is spelled Belle. So I'm guessing that this is not the book by Hemingway. Yeah. I also picked up a couple of I picked up where's the other one? I picked up two copies of Middlemarch because like I said, I liked it so much that now it's my whole personality. Um yeah. One for annotating and one for just keeping. Okay. Stacy. She says, I hate migraines. Mine aren't the worst pain ever, but they last 2 to 3 days. Oh yeah, I had one that lasted like 4 or 5 days. That was really rough. That was in 2016. I was under a lot of stress. And that was the worst. I would say that that is probably they're not always as painful, but usually I would say the most pain I've ever had in my life is associated with migraines. But then I've never given birth or broken a bone. No, says Jill, got a ride home from a friend and she had the radio blasting. I felt I couldn't ask her to turn it down. She was doing me a favor. When I got home, I laid down on the sofa. Yeah. And it's the one by Jacelyn, says Ana, for whom the bell tolls, Belle. So anyway, are we ready for another sprint? Does anybody have anything else they want to share before we sprint? I was thinking con permiso that we might, with permission, we might do a little bit longer because I think it's going to take me about an hour to finish this. And if we go for an hour, I can finish it and let you know what I thought. So I think maybe a full hour, which will get us to a few minutes before the hour, a few minutes before 5 here on the East Coast, and a few minutes before whatever, wherever you happen to be, unless you're in one of those jurisdictions where the time is off by half an hour. Some places do it that way. Okay, so banners. Sprinting until I'm going to make it sprinting until 50. So that's slightly less than an hour. And hopefully I will have finished the book and I can tell you whether or not I think it's worth it to buy. Couple more comments. Sounds good, says Maury, and Ana says sounds good to me. Okay, so we can all get some nice whatchamacallit momentum going. So I'll see you. Oops. Thought I fixed it. There we go. Okay, so I'll see you in just slightly under an hour. Amber Bell. How'd everybody do? Let's see. Ana says she got to page 282 in Wild Eyes. I have to go to Walgreens now, but should be back in like 30 minutes. I don't know when she left that comment, but I think we might actually be done by then. But let's see. Mari says, finished my reread, re-listen of The Cat Who Talked to Ghosts by Lillian Jackson Braun. This is my 90s book. Oh, nice, nice. Let's see. Here is your celebratory cuddle toy. Her name is Miriam. She is an Amish doll. Well, she's an Amish style doll. I got her in Delaware, and yeah. And she got to my house and she started voting immediately for anything she could. She started running election campaigns for like what we should have for dinner and that kind of thing. She even has an "I voted today" sticker. Oh, it's "I voted by mail" sticker on her dress, and she is very happy that you finished a book. Clappity clappity. Mm. Oh, my reading lamp was still on and it was making me look very red. Anita got to 56% in Spellbound by Murder, as opposed to Transfixed by Arson. Jill said switch to Golden Girls, got to page 90. Is this Murder by Cheesecake or the newer one? What is it? Death on the Lanai? Murder on the Lanai? Something like that. I didn't really care for Murder by Cheesecake, but then cozy mysteries aren't really my deal, so that might have been why. Love the doll, says Jill, and the doll loves you. Her name is Miriam because I was working on and I was in divinity school at the time, and I was working on an exegesis paper about Miriam, Aaron, and Moses. And that whole thing where Miriam gets leprosy for like a week and then she gets better, but her face gets all whitened. And so that's why I named her Miriam. Fun stuff. Let's see. Hi, Miriam. Nice to meet you. You go, girl, says Maury. Yes. She's our League of Dull Voters. Murder by Cheesecake, says Jill. Yeah, like I said, I didn't care for it, but I'm not really much of a one for cozy mysteries. I know. So that might have been why. Or maybe I was just in a bad mood. That'll happen. Okay. Now, as for this book, in the end, it was, in some ways, it was a little predictable, in other ways, a little less. Overall, I liked it. It's definitely very dark, very gritty. There are like these Jack the Ripper style murders that are described, and it's a lot darker than you normally get. And I know those others, I say they're dark romances without realizing they're dark romances. This one knows it's a dark romance. And yeah, because there's some stuff between the two main characters that's a little questionable, but the book knows it's questionable. It's not like the book is trying to, what do they call it, sane wash it or anything. It's just like, I really, really enjoyed this a lot. I don't know if it's worth $5 on Kindle, but if you're intrigued by the premise or you enjoy reading Jack the Ripper fiction or reincarnation fiction, I think you'd probably get into it. It turned out it wasn't quite 250 pages. It was 240 because, let's see, what did I do with them? I don't know what I did with the books I was looking at earlier, but it had a few pages of preview for The Heart of the Beast by Carla Cassidy. That's the one with the woman named Bonnie. And I honestly don't know what I did with those books. They were here and now they're not. Anyway, I think it was the one where she goes to Arkansas and her dad is like being really weird, but I'm not entirely sure because like I said, I don't know what I did with that. Here they are. I found them. And that was Heart of the Beast. This one. There was a preview for this. I read the first couple of pages and I was like, this sounds interesting, but I had some other things I wanted to get taken care of while I had a few minutes to spare. And this is, yeah, this is the one where she comes to Arkansas. You could read a book that's set in Arkansas. It's been a long time since I've read anything that was set in Arkansas. The figure from her remote past who had sacrificed family for his scientific career. there was a preview of that in the back of this. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. Very happy I read it. So, yes, I am absolutely surrounded by books. Uh, and there's still some downstairs. I'm trying to sort them out and figure out what goes where. So that'll be a few days where I can play with my new toys. Yeah. So, anybody else have anything they want to share about what's coming up in the next few days, next week or so? Um, I don't know if I'm going to try to go to any more libraries. I might. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to go to Aldi. I might go to excuse me, one more library, or I might not. I've been to 29 total, and tomorrow's the 30th, and it's the last day of Passport to Connecticut Libraries for this year. So I don't know if I'm going to try to get one more in or just let it slide. I do need to get some fresh fruit and veg and things like that, but I may not worry about it tomorrow. I mean, we have enough to eat if not. Oh, and I think the trash came by again. I don't know. I think they finally picked up our trash like 12 hours later than they usually do. I wonder if they had like a, like I said, I wonder if somebody was out sick or something. Of course, the post office are always messing with the routes to try to like, you know, make them as efficient as possible. So maybe that's what they did. They changed our route. Could be. I don't know. Not worried about it because I think they got everything picked up now. I think they got the recycling a couple of hours ago because this is one of the weeks where we do both. So if anybody has anything more you want to share about what's coming up, I think at some point in the last hour or so, a new video of mine was scheduled to post. It was another library haul, but the problem is that I went out and checked out more books yesterday in addition to all the books I bought. So that's already kind of, it's not exactly outdated, but yeah. So that's already posted. And of course, I'll be back for Midweek Motivation next week. I don't know that I'm doing any lives between now and then. Probably not, unless somebody else asks me to be on camera for their live. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. If you are in B's members live, I will see you there tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern or earlier, talking about our 90s reads. So that's what's happening. It's out, says Gwen. It's out. What is out? I have one more book to finish, says Maury, and a novella to read. I hope to get through that by the end of tomorrow. Gwen, you said it's out, but I wasn't sure what you were talking about. My across the street neighbors are coming home from somewhere. They have a personalized license plate that celebrates veganism. Oh, my video. Oh, that's probably what Gwen was talking about because Anita says she has the notification on your new video. That's probably what Gwen was talking about. Your video. Okay, super. Thank you so much. I knew I had scheduled it I couldn't remember if I'd scheduled it for 3:45 or 4 or 4:15, whatever. Thank you. That's what you meant by it's out. Gotcha. Thank you guys. Can't wait to see your book haul videos, says Wyoming. That's the one that just came up as a library haul. And like I said, I checked out a lot of books yesterday. So what I have planned for myself for the next few days is I have 8 books. I don't know where anything is. I keep moving stuff around. I have 8 books that are due back at various libraries on Monday, and I'm about a third of the way through one of them, and most of them are pretty short, so I don't think I'll have any. And one of them is Kamagawa or Kamagawa Food Detectives. Is not very long at all, and the others are fairly short. Mostly they're romances, so I'm going to try to get those done so that I can read them all before they're due back. So that'll be. Hey, I made it 6, says Nicole. Oh no, Nicole, I was just wrapping up. I'm glad you're here, but hail and farewell. I mean, you can watch it back, I guess. And anybody else who's watching it back, yeah, thank you for doing that. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or don't. I am not the boss of you. Yeah, so I have, but thank you for being here. Oops. Oh gosh, no worries, says Nicole. Um, if you watch it back, I read this book. It's Silhouette Shadows from the 90s for it's my book published in the 90s, Break the Night by Anne Stewart. It is a Jack the Ripper type of story, but in modern day, well, modern day 90s Los Angeles, so modern day for the time in which it was written. So yeah, I really liked it, and it is on Kindle for $5 if you're interested in Jack the Ripper stories, but it is very, very dark, very gritty. Uh, Nicole's laughing at something or other. Anyway, so oh, and Nicole, you missed it, but yesterday while I was out wandering around, I went to a library that had like a permanent book sale. In fact, I think they didn't actually have more books for sale than they had in their collection, but they had a lot. And I found 21 of these beautiful trade paperback Georgette Hare books for 50 cents each. They all came home with me. They're just beautiful. The spines aren't broken. And have I read anything by Georgette Hare? No. Do I know if I like Georgette Hare? No. Do I think that if I decide I don't like Georgette Hare, these will find a good home? Absolutely. I know my sister, who doesn't normally read romance, went on a Georgette Hare reading kind of kick a few years ago. So, oh, says Nicole, I have an Anne Stewart on my TBR. Ooh, if you could, are you in a position to look it up really quickly and tell us what it is? Love it. Amazing find. I hear she is wonderful. Yeah. And like I said, if it turns out I don't like her, I can certainly find a good home for these. Like I said, I ended up with 21. So I found a lot of other good stuff too, but we'd be here all day. Yep. One moment, says Nicole. Okay. Yeah. We'd be here like well until like midnight if I sat here and hauled everything I got. Let's see. Hmm. Including a couple of things I'm going to wrap up and uh, put on Mom Marionette's shelf. Oh, and I've been doing that Anne of Green Gables read along. We have one book left, and that is Rilla of Ingleside, that being Anne's daughter. And I found a copy of it. It has a Goodwill sticker on it, but I found it at that same library where I found these. So they actually had several copies. They actually had like two copies of the complete Anne of Green Gables. I should have bought House of Dreams, but this is the only one I purchased, and that's just so I can read it next week. She went on a hair tear. A hair tear. I don't want to say hater because that's not what she. Yeah, I think it might have been pandemic related. I'm not sure. Ruthless by Anne Stewart. What does it say when it came out? I don't know that I've read anything by Anne Stewart, but of course now I set it down and it will never be. I mean, you guys, this place is just like books piled everywhere. They're not even in neat stacks. They're just in heaps. The House of Rohan series. Quick question. Any news on when y'all be reading, what y'all be reading after the Anne books? I don't know that they've really thought about it too much. They've mentioned a couple of possibilities, but I don't actually remember what they were. I wanted to. I'm going to see if I can persuade them to get into some Georgette Hare. Maybe I'll do that myself. Ruthless. My copy is from 2010. Let's see. Ruthless. And it does not have three S's in it. It really does not. Let's see. Oh, it's historical romance. Oh, wow, that sounds really interesting. Oh, that sounds super interesting. Yeah, I gotta look into that. That sounds really. Thank you for telling us about it because that really sounds interesting. I'm the same way, sock. Books piled all over the place. LOL, says Jill. LOL, indeed. It's kind of. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of stressing me out a little, but I'm gonna figure it out. It'll be fine. You should do Little House, says Gwen. I don't know because they were talking about Little House, and I don't know. I was thinking Betsy Tacy, but just like skip to the high school years. I need to check with my library and see if they will take any this year, says Jill. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ugh. So let's see. So anyway, that was midweek motivation for another week. We've been here for just a smidge bit over 3 hours. I hope everybody had a good time. If you're watching it back later, thank you for doing that. And I hope you're having a good time. And if you're not watching it back later or live, then I love you anyway, but you'll never know. How sad. Let's see. Nicole says, well, enjoy the rest of your day. Your hair is on point today. Beautiful. Thank you. It was like sliding. I was like, I was sprawled out on the back of the couch and it was kind of got pushed up. But yes, I feel like I'm almost, but not quite doing the Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's where she has the little tiara and her hair is a little bit bigger. And Anita says, thanks for this. Have a good day, everyone, and see you all soon. Be safe. Thank you, Anita. Appreciate it. Anita's always telling people to be safe because she cares. She's concerned, especially when we're having weird weather like we've been having. This was fun. Thanks for the sprints. Thank you for showing up, Joel. Appreciate it. Thanks, Sock and all, says Maureen. Yeah, I hope to see everybody next week or not. People got stuff to do, and I appreciate you spending time with me whenever you can. And one more comment. Wyoming says, thank you, Sock. You motivated me to go buy more books. Well, I am going to be sending one to you. So that's one acquisition that you don't have to go anywhere or spend any money to get. Because like I said, it was like, it cost me $1. So, I don't really expect to be recompensed for that. So yeah, so that's one that will just show up at some point when I get around to mailing it, which will be when it happens. Okay, so thank you all for being here this afternoon, and I will see you next week, if not before.